Hello, my name is Representative Pam Powers Hanley, and I represent LD9 in Tucson in the Arizona House. Well, today is March 2nd, 2021, and today's bill is SB 1062. So this is about engineering, okay? I don't know what it is with the engineers and the Republicans, but every year we get some sort of a bill that attacks these technical professions like engineering. And so this particular bill sets up two different classifications of engineer in statute. Right now, there's only one definition of engineer, and it talks about somebody who has knowledge and education related to math and the physical sciences and engineering practice, and there's more details in it. But anyway, so that definition of engineer has been moved in statute, and now that's called a professional engineer. And then under engineer, they have a much simpler version. It's basically somebody who identifies as an engineer. I'm an engineer, and so this person would be unlicensed, and the distinction that Senator Mesnard is making in this bill is that the professional engineers are the ones who build things like bridges or buildings, or including houses, and it is related to health and safety, so they're building things that could fall down on you, and so that needs to be done by a professional engineer. But then there are other sort of more nebulous engineering practice jobs that could be done by the person who just calls himself an engineer. So the person who's just an engineer is somebody who identifies as an engineer. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have any degree in engineering, and in fact, I didn't realize until I think it was last year or so that in the state of Arizona, to be an engineer, you don't need a bachelor's in science and engineering. We have some of the lowest standards already for engineers, and we have a very high registration of engineers because we have such low standards, and this bill would decrease the standards even more. So there was a lot of discussion about hiring the type of person that you want. I was really concerned about the consumer, right? What if the consumer, the small business person, wants an engineer to read plans or review some sort of scope of work or something like that? How are they going to know if they have a professional engineer who has 8 years of experience and some education and this and that, or if they're going to have somebody who just identifies an engineer and may have done some engineering work in the past, but may have worked at an unregulated industry? I also found out today that aerospace engineers and mining engineers are not regulated in the state of Arizona. Now, there's some health and safety concerns, and so I think 1062 is not ready for prime time. It is not really ready for the statutes, that's for sure. The engineering definition for a regular engineer is too vague. How is the consumer going to know who they're hiring? If that person is unlicensed, there's going to be no license number. But we've also seen a raft of bills in the last 2 years where people are allowed to hide their license numbers. They don't have to put it on an ad anymore necessarily. They're going to put it on a website, and you just have to find it on the website someplace. And so I think that there's lots of red flags for this when we already have some of the lowest standards, and we have two of our major industries already not regulating engineers. I don't think that we should come up with a separate definition of engineer versus professional engineer. There aren't any other states doing this. And so there are also, I think, very few states with standards as low as ours. So let's not jump off this bridge, okay? Let's keep the way it is.